Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, we're going to head all the way back out to the state of Illinois as we do yet another special about Now, this one's going to be a little different. Obviously, you all have been geeking out on these videos, and you know that nobody in the state of Illinois seems to be real interested in registering their firearms, and I can't blame you. Is there possibly a legal workaround, okay? Because you can do the whole, that's it, I'm not going to comply, the hell with it, but you understand the risk you're running if you do that. Is there perhaps a legal workaround where you could avoid registering that firearm with the state of Illinois, still keep it, and have it in your possession so when this law finally gets thrown out on its ass, you can go back to living like an American? Well, our good friend Rob Beas at Law Weapons may have come up with an idea. So today, let's talk to Rob and let's figure out, is there a legal workaround to Illinois' gun registry? Okay, so what we're talking about again today is Illinois' assault weapon ban, the pending deadline coming on the registration of all pre-existing semi-automatic rifles, and what will happen if, in fact, you do not register it. Now, we've gone through the numbers on at least 3 videos now, and we know that nobody, and I literally mean nobody in the state of Illinois, has any interest in complying with this law. Kudos to all of you. However, once January 1st rolls around, if you possess one of these firearms and you have not registered, you understand that you are subjecting yourself to possible, rather serious criminal penalties. So, rather than just destroying the firearm or registering it, is there a legal workaround possibly to having to register this? Well, our good friend Rob Beas, yeah, you guys all know Rob Beas, Bevis vs. City of Naperville, Law Weapons, one of the biggest gun stores in the state of Illinois out there in Naperville. Rob Beas has been an absolute thorn in the side of the state of Illinois and all their civilian disarmament attempts, and I think that he has come up with a really neat and completely legal workaround to Illinois' assault weapon registration requirements. So without further ado, let's hear from Rob. Right. Hey everybody, look who's here. It's Rob Beas from Law Weapons, one of the more famous gun store owners in the United States. Rob has been an absolute thorn in the side in the state of Illinois, which makes me a huge fan of Rob Beas. Rob, say hi to everyone.
Hello, everybody, and thanks, Bill, for letting me in it.
Hey, thanks for being here, Rob. So you and I have talked before about the gut-wrenching experience that you went through with a city assault weapon ban, city of Naperville, and even during that time where there was some ray of hope going around as to what might happen in Illinois, you never saw any ray of sunshine whatsoever.
No. Yeah, we've been under the dark cloud since, I think, August of 22.
Now, Rob, one of the things that got you and I talking again is you've been watching some of the videos where every week I've been doing kind of a countdown to confiscation, and I've been showing how much Illinois folks are registering their firearms, and the numbers are incredibly paltry at the current time. Do you agree with that?
Non-existent, yes.
Yeah, and shockingly, it appears like Illinois residents, much like many other Americans, don't believe that they should have to register their guns. Is that right?
That's right. Absolutely right. Yeah.
Now, you obviously have gone through a horrible transformation in business. Obviously, what the state of Illinois did to you is intended to run businesses like yours out of the state. Obviously, I know sales are way down, and you started thinking about creative ways to legally work around what the state of Illinois has banned. Is that correct?
That is right. Correct. Absolutely.
Okay. So if you got somebody in Illinois right now who owns one of those scary semi-automatic rifles, and they do not want to register them, do you believe that there is a legal workaround?
I absolutely do, and I think we've come up with an innovative solution to do so.
Okay, let's hear about it.
Well, so this assault weapon ban has to do with semi-automatic rifles, and they list all types of rifles, but everything in there is semi-automatic. And then there's an exclusion in the law that literally says that any firearm that is manually operated by a bolt, pump, lever, or slide action, except for a revolving cylinder shotgun, is not an assault weapon. And
right.
You don't have to register non-assault weapons.
That's right.
You don't have to register your Henry rifle that has a lever action,
right,
or your pump shotgun, or your bolt action Remington 700, or anything else if it's manually operated by bolt, pump, lever, or slide action. So
Right.
I started thinking about this. I know that in the past I had seen AR platform rifles with bolt actions on them, but literally a standard looking bolt, and you'd have to load one round, mostly in the large 50 cal range. They had like an upper they would attach to it. It was actually a bolt action rifle. Of course, in Illinois, 50 cal is also banned, but
Right, and subject to registration as well.
yeah. So I started looking at it, and as I've got a full machine shop and CNC machines, and we manufacture firearms and do lots of prototyping and stuff like that. And I started looking at it and I said, how could we convert or produce a manually operated bolt action rifle that was still on the America's favorite platform, right? So
the most versatile platform too, by the way, which is why it's so popular.
Absolutely. And so I got this idea. Well, what if we could somehow disable the gas system so that the gun doesn't fire in semi-automatic mode? Single shot, you'd have to manually operate the bolt to fire it again. And I started looking at it, and I'm looking at the law, and I got a hold of a couple of attorneys who are friends of ours in the
a lot of attorneys, Rob Beas. You've got a lot of lawsuits going on in Illinois.
I sure do. Yeah. So some of our customers are fantastic, Rich Hodel and a few others here. And so I reached out to Ben Barr. Ben Barr is a constitutional lawyer here in Chicago. And I said, hey, Ben, will you take a look at this? Let me know if what I'm proposing is lawful. And, if this would, give us the opportunity to keep our weapons without having to register them or send them out of state or destroy them or whatever. And so he took a long look at this and he wrote a great opinion on it. And that, he said, Robert, absolutely. The assault weapons are generally all of them are semi-automatic. He said,
and if we take a look at the statute, and anyone in Illinois that wants to geek out on this for themselves, you can take a look directly at the Illinois statute, and it says assault weapon means any of the following, except as provided in subsection 2, which you already talked about. Okay. Right. So, and right away, it is a semi-automatic rifle that has the capacity to accept a detachable magazine or may be readily modified to accept a detachable magazine, and it has any one of the following components. And then, of course, it just lists all the components that we know exist on any semi-automatic rifle, thus making it a banned weapon. So there is no doubt when you look at the Illinois statute that this is exclusive to semi-automatic firearms.
That is correct. Absolutely correct. So if the firearm is not semi-automatic, it cannot be classified as an assault weapon in their classification.
So if someone's got a normal semi-automatic rifle on the AR platform, what exactly does Rob Beavis's idea do here from a functionality standpoint?
So what I did is I started looking at any other options out there of converting or turning your rifle into a manually bolt action rifle. And there was a product we saw and we looked at it, and I started thinking about the engineering and the design of it. And I said, this product would cause all of the gas that's expanded, released from the gun to go directly down into the lower and upper receiver and into your mags, into your ammunition and stuff. And I said, there's got to be a better way. So we created the Law Bolt 15, which is the first product. We are making one for the AR-10, and we'll look into the AK-47 and a couple of the other more common rifles out there on how to do this. But basically what we're doing is we're diverting the gas system to where it does not cycle the firearm, yet it still ejects that gas out of the ejection port of the firearm. So when you fire this rifle with the Law Bolt 15 installed, that firearm is a manually operated bolt action rifle. One shot, you have to charge the handle to release it and load the next round and fire again. And if you do that, that is now no longer semi-automatic. It cannot.
No, it definitely is not. So you are able to direct the gas, though, in a direction rather than back onto the user and back into the firearm, where, as we know, especially if you're not shooting real high-quality ammo, you'll gunk that firearm up real quick.
That's right. So we're using the original same system, except the gas is it's ejecting the same way it would if it was a semi-automatic, which is out of the 2 portholes on the bolt carrier group. That is where the gas is going ejecting out right through the ejection port.
Okay.
The difference is that it just doesn't cycle the gun. So it took us a while. The bolts are it's a modified bolt that we've created, and a lot of these bolts are nitride coated. They're very, very hard. They have a hard Rockwell coating, and when doing our prototypes, we wound up burning up a lot of carbide end mills here. So we had a great guy named Carl from Lakeshore Carbide out of New York. He developed a special end mill for us, and that thing has been running great, and it's making great parts and hasn't worn out yet. And we've made quite a few hundred of them. So
now the recharging of the firearm with your Law Bolt 15, great name, by the way. The recharging will take place on the charging handle. You have not, like on this new bolt, you haven't installed a bolt lever on there to physically grab and cycle the bolt that way like you would on a bolt action rifle.
Correct. So you use this original charging handle, you pull it back, let it go back forward, push it forward, and you've loaded the next round from your magazine. So it's a very simple and clean install.
All right. So if somebody has one of these scary semi-automatic rifles that the state wants you all to register, how easy is it to swap your normal bolt carrier group out to the Law Bolt 15?
Well, if you're familiar with cleaning your firearm and changing gas rings and things like that in the bolt carrier group, it's pretty simple to do. It easily can be changed over and switched over. Now, there's some big cautions on this. Now, once you remove that bolt from the rifle, that semi-automatic bolt is still now considered an assault weapon attachment.
Right. It is an accessory or component thereof.
That's correct. So that would need to be registered or sent out of state or destroyed or turned in. Law Weapons is happy to destroy that bolt for anybody and give them a certificate of destruction so they have proof that bolt has been destroyed. We will do that if you purchase one of our Law bolts.
Now, let me ask you this. Once you've installed the Law bolt in there, let's say that glorious day comes when this Law is chucked out on its ass where it belongs, okay? And Illinois residents get to resemble something more similar to Americans again. Yes. How easy would it be then to turn around and put a normal bolt carrier back into the firearm once the Law Bolt 15 has been put in there?
Yep. Well, we would assume that you don't have a bolt, so you'd go out and buy one.
Right.
Properly buy one. The law has changed. You buy that bolt. You simply convert it, just like you would clean your bolt normally. You would swap out the Law bolt for your new one that you've purchased lawfully, and your gun would be back into semi-automatic mode.
So no retrofitting of the firearm itself. It's literally remove one bolt, drop the new bolt in.
Yep, and leave it in there as long as the law is in place. That gun is a semi-automatic. Is a single shot, manually operated bolt action rifle.
Does the owner of the firearm have to do any modifications to the gas system, or does the bolt take care of all of that already?
They do not have to do any modifications whatsoever. Now, I will have to tell you that this only works for gas impingement guns.
Okay, that's important.
Okay, so that is really important to know because some rifles have a piston system up near the gas block. So those rifles we have not yet have a solution for, but 99% of the rifles out there, or 95% of them, are gas impingement. So if you have a gas impingement gun in the 5.56 caliber, this bolt is ready to be purchased and can be installed immediately. And like I said, turn your firearm into a manually operated pump action.
And then if they buy that Law bolt from you, you will take possession of their unlawful bolt, I guess, or registerable bolt. You will give them a certificate of surrender and destruction so that they have all the evidence necessary so that they now have proof why they do not need to register that firearm with the state of Illinois.
That is correct. Now, there's 3 ways they can do this. They can either purchase the bolt online, right from our website. They could also, bring the bolt over there, and we're happy to swap it out for them, or bring the whole gun in, and we'll not only change the bolt out, we'll test fire it, make sure it's functioning perfectly, and return the gun back to them as a bolt action rifle.
Okay, So, Rob, a fantastic idea. You and I had geeked out a couple days on the phone about this. I was like, dang, man, you have really come up with a neat idea. I
We're
like this a
trying, yeah.
lot. Let's tell the viewers how they can get their hands on one of these things. What are the different ways that they can accumulate one of these items?
Well, we're asking everyone to either call the store at 630-317-7155, and you can place an order over the phone, or go directly to our website, which is lawweapons.org, and we have a pop-up that will allow you to purchase one right online. Now, when you purchase it online, it does not include the shipping. So you're basically purchasing it. You can either walk into the store and pick it up with an ID showing you that you purchased it, or call the store and we can give you estimated shipping cost and time. We're right now, it's just a couple days. We're behind on our orders because we're making them as fast as we can. But we're looking at having all the orders finished here by Monday. Everything we're behind, so we'll be back on track to get them to you right away. I'd suggest that you buy one for each firearm you have, and then like I said, bring your bolts in or send them to us, and we'll send you a certificate of destruction for each one.
Just so we're clear, everyone in the state of Illinois who owns one of these scary guns has to have it registered by December 31st. Is that right?
Yes.
And if you don't want to register your firearm and you don't want to fall out of compliance with Illinois law, the only other option you have would be to retrofit your firearm such that it was no longer a semi-automatic firearm. Agreed?
That's correct. Well, there's one other way too, Bill, and that is, you can send it out of state. So I guess but listen, think about this. Let's say you were going to send this rifle to your brother in another state. Well, you've got to go to an FFL, have it sent there. The FFL has to then have the guy do his 4473 and go through the background checks and all that process, right? Well, let's say you decide to retrofit your firearm here and turn it into a manually operated bolt action rifle. Well, that little bolt that you have is not restricted on, it doesn't fall under FFL rules to ship it. So you can easily ship that bolt out of state to where it's legal, or it isn't restricted, and it's you can put that in the mail, right? It's just
a piece of metal, man.
Right. So you're not like shipping your firearm somewhere and don't have any use of it at all, at least this way. Now, look, there's another interesting part about this. Owning a manually operated single shot bolt action rifle, it helps to enhance your skills, slowing down your rate of fire. You spend a lot more time, deliberately aiming, and your deliberate action, which, technique, it'll improve your technique.
Efficiency in firearm is good for everybody.
That's right. So there's another good reason to have a single shot AR. Okay. Instead of sending it out of state, at least you still have it at home for defense if you need it. All
right, Rob, one more time. Tell the viewers how they can get a hold of you and Law Weapons and get their hands on one of these bolts.
Okay, so go to lawweapons.org and you can purchase it online, or give us a call, 630-317-7155, and we will get one out to you right away.
All right. Well, Rob, I can't thank you enough, especially on a holiday weekend, for jumping online with us and reaching out to us with this idea. It's Law Weapons. It's in Naperville, Illinois. It's Rob Beas. He has been I want everyone in Illinois to know that this guy has been out there fighting like holy hell for all of your inalienable rights. He has put his neck on the line. He's put his business on the line. He's put a ton of his own money on this also, okay? He and I haven't talked about that also. So, listen, show the folks over at Law Weapons some love. Show them some business this holiday weekend. Rob, thanks again. I look forward to talking to you in the near future, and please try to stay safe out there in Illinois.
I will. You do the same. Good luck to everything you're doing over there too, Bill. And thank you for keeping everybody updated. We really appreciate you.
My pleasure.
Here, my friend.
Okay, listen, I want to thank Rob Beas for all of the time, energy, and creativity that he has put in there. This is a guy who has absolutely gone to bat time and time and time again for all of the inalienable rights of Illinois residents. If you are interested in taking a look at his product and maybe using that as a way to work yourself around the law, we will link up all of the information down below so that you can find it. In the meantime, if you got any questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now. If you don't, that's okay. That information is also down there in the description box. Now, let's everyone remember that part of being a lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching. Stay safe.